Cybersecurity is an increasingly important issue for businesses, and you need to be well informed. Among the various attacks, the most common and deceptive is phishing. But what is it, and how can you protect yourself? Watch the video to find out, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content. Let's get started! Phishing is a type of cyber attack carried out on the internet network to deceive users. It is carried out mainly through deceptive emails that contain a message reporting registration or other problems, asking users to provide their access details to the service, such as banking services. In order to reassure the user that the email is reliable, it contains a link to the original website. In reality, this is a fake site with the same structure as the original. So the user, convinced of the site's reliability, enters their details, which are then available to criminals. In email phishing, there are three main mechanisms used to trick the user. Malicious links, which are links that direct victims to websites infected with malware, a malicious program or code that compromises the system. Malicious attachments, which are attachments that, when opened, may contain malware that compromises the victim's computer. And fake fill-in forms, which are pages created in the same format as the original pages, where forms are filled in that are useful for obtaining the victim's sensitive data. The phenomenon of phishing is becoming increasingly widespread. It affects many sectors, including financial institutions, online payment services, and social media. Currently, we find a higher percentage of phishing in webmails of software that we use in software as a service mode, tools used to manage file storage, create websites, and most importantly, enable collaboration inside and outside the organization. This service allows users to create websites without having to write any code. This has attracted a lot of interest from cybercriminals who have started to exploit these platforms by inserting links to phishing sites. These links are hosted on legitimate domains, making it particularly difficult for search engines to detect this type of threat. So the trend of this type of attacks is likely to increase in this area. Phishing is used by cybercriminals because it is a simple and, above all, effective method of attack. Anyone who falls for a phishing scam risks identity theft and the loss of sensitive data. It can also be infected with malware, including the dreaded ransomware, a type of malware that restricts access to affected devices and demands a ransom to remove the restriction. As mentioned, phishing is mainly carried out via email, but in order to defend against these attacks, it is important to know that there are different types. So, let's find out what they are. Number 1, search engine phishing, which involves hackers working to get their phishing site to appear among the first results of a search using a browser. There are many efforts by search engines to prevent certain sites from appearing in the first results, but this often is not enough. Clicking on the link displayed will take you to the hacker's site, and by interacting with it, you risk having your sensitive information stolen. Number 2, spear phishing, which represents a significantly more precise and targeted attack than phishing. These attacks are created specifically for the victim. The scammers prepare by gathering detailed information about the victim, such as the field of work or role in the company. With this information, the hacker can pretend to be interested in a cause supported by the victim, or pretend to be someone they know, to gain the confidence to obtain the data to steal through the victim opening malicious links or attachments. A practical example of spear phishing email might be: Mark, for your more in-depth training, we suggest that you sign up for the webinar scheduled for this Monday. Link to the compromised or spoofed website. Which others of your colleagues will also be attending. Number 3, whaling, which is specific to attacks against companies, also known as business email compromise. Whaling is a type of attack that directly targets corporate officers or directors with the intent of stealing money or sensitive information to gain access to corporate computer systems for criminal purposes. Therefore, through whaling, key individuals in the company are targeted and lured through communications that appear to come from the CEO or other influential people in the corporate organization. Number 4, smishing, which is very similar to phishing among its types. The difference being that it occurs mostly via text message on the phone. Typically, a link is attached to the message, personalized with the victim's data, which can lead to a phishing site or malware that can compromise the phone and be used to spy on the user's smartphone data. Number 5, phishing, where we are dealing with a less frequent but not less deadly type of phishing. Criminals typically target the victims through phone call, made more credible through voice-altering software or generating preset messages, with which they manage to obtain sensitive information from targeted users. Phishing protection must be a priority. To this end, companies can invest in training their employees to raise their awareness on cybersecurity. Employees need to be able to recognize possible threats. Training with real examples of phishing attacks and various simulations will prepare the employee to deal with a possible risk of attack. In addition, technology plays a key role in protecting against phishing. This is the case with the Security Email Gateway, a set of technologies that can detect and classify phishing emails based on the bad reputation of the links attached to the email themselves. Although it has limitations, such as links that appear to be from a legitimate domain, email gateway technology is much more effective. This tests the links contained in suspicious emails and moves them to a separate folder. Administrators can then test and determine if there are phishing emails. Cybersecurity is constantly evolving, so companies need to be more aware of the importance of investing in cybersecurity to reduce the risk of attack. And speaking of cybersecurity, if you would like to learn more about why business leaders should invest in it, I suggest you take a look at my video in the corner, which focuses on all of this. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, don't forget to check out my YouTube channel for more digital content and business tips. See you soon. Ciao!